Hey, Alexus, love beauties and flawless man. Welcome back to part 12 of what I learned from. Today, we're going to be talking about what I learned from my mom. And I just want to say this as a disclaimer. I know that sometimes parents have this bias about, well, this parent wasn't there, so you should have more respect for me, or this parent do that, so you should feel this way about that. When I'm about to do the part 12 and part 13 of what I learned from my mom and my dad, I have forgiven them both for how I personally feel that I was, raised or whatever the case may be. So this is not any type of bias. This is not putting one parent in front of the other one because this advice was strong. I've listened to them both. As a grown person, I've had intimate conversations with them both. Coming up with this list is just what I wanted to come up with. So, parents don't feel no certain type of way. Just know that every parent did what they did. And, if they were there or not, that never mattered to me. So let's get into it. 7 things that I learned from my mom. I just had to throw that disclaimer out because you know how sometimes parents would be like, dang, she don't feel like I did. Ma'am, we're not here for that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. These are the 7 things that I learned from my mom. That's not your friend. The first thing that I learned from my mom is that's not your friend. And friends and those topics go far, but when you're younger, you think you know something, and a lot of the times you do have to go through those experiences to see and learn different things also. But if your parent is telling you that somebody is not your friend, I would say look into that. Because they typically be knowing, I don't know what it is that they be knowing, but they do be knowing. So just look into that, because it was a lot of time mom's like, that's not your friend, it's not your friend. And I was like, oh, this is my friend, this is my friend. And things change, things happen in life, but that is okay. That was the number one thing that I learned from my mom. That's not your friend. Just to always look into things before you just start putting titles on people. You have to really just know the baseline of people and know really where they're coming from. The second thing that I learned from my mom was to be careful with men. Just basically just knowing that, this is another this is a different sex. So, you're not going to think like a man. There is other things that you have to do and different things like that. Really not trying to get into it like that, but she just said to be careful with a man, which to me, it makes a lot of sense because, people be manipulating. It's just a lot that go into it. Just be careful with the man. That's something that she taught me, something that I'm still learning right now, just to learn about, the opposite sex, just to learn about the different things that you have to do and all of those beautiful things. I ain't gonna lie, for some reason, now this one don't even, I don't know. Let's just get into it. The third thing that I learned from my mom was just to make sure that you get some rest. Don't overexalt yourself. Bedtime, we always have to go to bed 9:30. I still do that to this day. It's really, really good. It's really healthy. 9:30 to 6 o'clock. Get your 8 hours of rest. That gives you energy. Mom really didn't like us being up late, exhausting ourselves. And as an adult, I still stand behind that. So make sure you get your beauty rest. That's why I be telling us, social media gonna be here right now. We gotta, watch stuff. We gotta work and do different things like that. But at the end of the day, behind all of this stuff, we are still human. We still have our own lives and are still problems going on. So make sure that you do get your beauty rest. The fourth thing that I learned from my mom was no matter what, keep your head up. I remember one time I was walking out the house and I was going through something. I don't even think I told her about it. And I just walked out the house like this. Little attitude or whatever, like, it's crazy. And I don't think she asked me what was tea, but she just was like, just keep your head up. And I was like, girl, what? Later on in life, I learned that, and it just played over in my head, like, keep your head up. So after that, like a few years later, if anything would if I would feel a certain type of way, you just won't catch me like this. You just won't catch me like that. Just not going to catch me like that. No matter what is going on, no matter how I feel, she just told me to keep your head up. Keeping your head up is keeping your confidence. It's just not letting anything get to you. Even if it is getting to you, I think what she said, it was just a confidence thing. I don't know if I really got a lot of clarity on these things, but she told me to keep my head up when I was going through something. So that's just something that I always do now. I just keep my head up no matter what it is I'm going through. And that's all you can do. Just keep going forth and never go down. Just keep going forth. The fifth thing that I learned from my mom was don't show emotion. Well, I don't know if that, it's a positive and a negative with that. Now I'm learning as an adult, you definitely do want to show emotion. Emotion plays a big part in you just being emotionally intelligent, emotionally present, being able to check on yourself, being able to check in with other people. So it's kind of like 50-50. And then I get sometimes you don't want to show emotion to certain things. So, say somebody might say something rude. You don't want to show the emotion of anger because you don't want to, take that further. So that'll be a good way to use that as far as not showing an emotion like, okay, I'm a just hold this in because I don't want this to go left. And, I'm going to keep smiling, different things like that. But the emotion thing is still something that I'm learning about. You definitely want to make sure that you're emotionally intelligent, but at the right place and the right time. You want to know that, okay, this is not the place for me to be getting that attitude. This is not the time for me to cry, different things like that. So just knowing when to use the emotion, not to not show emotion. Because, we're human and we should be showing emotion, but to know when to use those emotions and what emotions to use. The sixth thing I learned is to be careful who you love. You're supposed to love everybody. You're supposed to, love one another as you love yourself, love your neighbors, just on the intimate side, just to be careful who you love. And sometimes you had to I don't know, I talked to my mom and I'll be like, well, I seen this, or, you seen me with this person while you didn't say nothing. And she would be like, oh, well, I had to let you learn that. I had to let you go through that, which makes a lot of sense for me because I don't do a lot of dating. So I guess I would have to get out there. But some stuff I'll just be like, girl, you should have told me that. You should have told me not to let this person. But some things I'm learning was not her responsibility. It was that I had to learn these things on my own. So the sixth thing that I learned from her, basically just to be careful with, who you might love intimately, just to take that to God. Just don't be out here oh, I love this person, that's my man, just to be careful with that. And the seventh thing that I learned from my mom was to respect your elders. Respect your elders. I know my mom just is a very respectful young lady, and she respects her elders just from the top of her head to the sole of her feet. So that's what I learned. And these are the 7 things that I learned from my mom. For some reason, I kind of feel like these is all over the place. I mean, I don't want to say all over the place. I guess it's honestly something I could possibly talk to her about and just get some more clarity on these things, because making this list was just things that came to my head really quick. And now I'm looking at it and I'm just like, okay, I could get some more information. So what do you mean that's not your friend? What did you see that'll make you be like, because, a parent instantly see who she was saying that to a few people, and it was just as soon as just walking up, she'd be like, that's not your friend. And I've been friends with these people for years, and come to find out years later that wasn't my friend. So I guess it's just more things that we can conversate about, to elaborate on, because I would like to know that how she knew somebody wasn't my friend. As far as to be careful with man thing, I think I pretty much understand that. To get some rest, I understand that. No matter what, keep your head up. I think I'm looking at it a confidence thing, but I think I can still ask for more clarity on that. Don't show emotion. Man, that go both ways. To me, it's a 50-50 thing. Just know when to show the emotion, but you definitely don't want to cut off emotion, because if you cut off emotion, then that is a form of neglect towards yourself and towards other people. Then you're not going to have emotional intelligence, and those are some problems that we have going on in general. And to be careful who you love and respect your elders. So there's a few things on these lists that I honestly had conversations with my mom about. But if you have some things that you have learned from your mom, please leave them down below in the comment section, and do this. Make sure you elaborate with her first before you do that. That way, we can have valid information. But these were just some things that came to my mind really quick. Very helpful information, and I will do my extended research to get some further learning on what these things may mean. I will see you back in part 13 about what I learned from my dad.